Hello, hello. Look, I actually almost spin it around. You can tell what show I've been watching. My name is Dr. Terry Alford. I'm known as the Women's Wealth Strategist. I specialize in helping business owners build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million dollar legacies. And on today, I am going to speak about faith and planting and reaping a harvest. Now, for those of you who've been watching me for some time, you know I am big on knowing your name. And my name is Terry. It is not short for Teresa, it is Terry. And Terry is short, well, in some places you will see that it's supposed to be short for Teresa, but my name is actually Terry. My parents named me Terry. And the significance of that is that my name means harvester, reaper. And so I believe that when you know your name and the foundation and the background, what's the word I'm trying to think of? When you know the origin of your name and what your name means, it gives you more insight into how you are supposed to move about life. And so again, because my name means harvester, that means I am going to reap a harvest based on what I sow. But in the midst of me sowing seeds and reaping the harvest, I have learned I must have faith. Faith is a big part of that. Now, again, if this is your first time watching me live, my name is Dr. Terry Alford. I'm known as the Women's Wealth Strategist. I specialize in helping business owners and professionals build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million dollar legacies. And as I am doing that, I am going live, giving you tips, tools, and strategies to help you on your wealth building journey. Now, some of you may have heard people say in the Bible that a man is going to reap what he sows. Do not be mocked. Do not be deceived. No, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man is going to reap what he sows. When I hear that, I am hearing that we should be sowing good things. It's not always about, oh, well, look, karma is going to come back and bite somebody in the butt. Sometimes we need to be thinking like, wow, wait a minute. If I continue to sow and sow again and sow more abundantly and consistently, I am going to reap abundantly. I am going to reap consistently. So for all of you who are business owners out there, I want to encourage you on today to continue to sow. If you sow sparingly, you shall reap sparingly. And understand, hey Tanya, understand that there is a period of time in which you are going to have to wait in between your sowing and you reaping the harvest. So during that waiting season, you must understand that there's also a verse that says there is a season for everything. There is a time for everything under the sun. And so there is a waiting time. There is a preparation time. There's a time to rejoice. There's a time to praise him in advance. There's a time to study. There's a time to prepare for the overflow before the overflow comes. I did good in last year. I did great in terms of production. I did great in terms of income. I did great in terms of delegation. I still have areas to grow in, but I spent a considerable amount of time last year focusing on preparing for the overflow because I know that my harvest is about to be so great. And so I'm like, okay, I'm planting seeds, but in between me planting these seeds and reaping this harvest, I need to be preparing. I need to understand that this is preparation time. And so if you have not reaped the harvest for what you want, understand that you may be in a season of preparation time. But if you are in a time of sowing, if you sow obedience, you are going to reap a great reward for your obedience. If you sow laziness and procrastination, you are going to reap lack. You're going to come up short. You are going to mismanage some things because you're mismanaging time. When you mismanage time, then the mismanagement of other things just follow that. But if you sow generously, you are going to reap generously. You are going to see an increase But again, in between your sowing season and your harvesting season, you must understand that faith is a big part of that journey, that season in between, that space in between, right? So you sown the seeds, but you're not done. You're not done when you sown the seeds. You got to water the seeds. You're not done when you meet a prospect. Let me put it in business terminology. You're not done when you meet a prospect. You shook their hand. You made the connection. You're not done. You have to water the seed, right? You have to water the seed. You can water the seed manually, or you can water the seed automatically. You can water the seed knowingly. You can water the seed unknowingly. I spoke to a woman on today. She said, Terry, I've been watching you. I'm like, you have? She said, I've been watching you online, and then I saw you on a podcast this week, and I said, I have to reach out to you, Dr. Terry. I have to get to know who you are, because I feel I am drawn to you. So without me even knowing who this woman was, I already planted a seed. Didn't know it. I made a post. She was attracted by the post. She was attracted to the post. But then she saw me again. And as I continue to post without me even knowing that I am posting in front of her, I was watering that seed. And then when she saw me somewhere else on somebody else's platform, she said, wait a doggone minute. Here she is again. So I was watering the seed without me even knowing it. And it just so happens when she reached out to me today, I was like, oh, I've seen your profile before. I realized that you liked something, or you recently became a follower, right? So that's what I mean when I say you can water the seed knowingly or water it unknowingly. If you know you are watering the seed, you're making the phone calls. You're calling people. You are interacting with them. You are supporting them. You are celebrating their wins. You are celebrating their birthdays, right? You're celebrating what they're doing. You're watering the seeds. But sometimes people want to give up too quickly. I've had this conversation with a few people over the last few days. You're on a mission, whether your business life, your financial life, your personal life, you're on a mission and you're like, you know what? I tried. I give up. I quit. I'm not doing it anymore. Well, you were moving in the right direction, and you gave up too quickly. Don't give up too quickly. Keep watering the seed. You're in the waiting period. For those of you who've been watching me for a long time, y'all know it's about to be another single Valentine. I've been single and I've never married, never been married. Been single for a very, very long time. Now I could quit and be like, you know what? That's it. If the Lord has me here until I'm 99, like Miss Betty White, I will never go on another date. I'm not accepting another opportunity to meet nobody else, because all these jokers are flawed. All these jokers are playing games, right? I quit. But then I literally could be quitting right before the person that God has for me meets me. So when you are in the waiting period, you cannot quit. You must wait and prepare for the thing that is to come. You must keep watering the seeds, again, knowingly and unknowingly. You must prepare for the overflow that you want. Some of you are like, I want to make $100,000 this year, or I want to make $100,000 a quarter, or I want to make $100,000 a month. Well, before you do that, you need to prepare for that overflow, because if you don't manage what you have now appropriately, you're not going to get the overflow and the 10x of what you got now and manage that appropriately, because you need to build up some discipline. You need to build up consistency. You need to have a mindset shift. If you have a broke mindset and you have a lot of money, guess what? You're going to become broke again. I'm sorry. That's the easiest way I can say it. That's why some people like to speak to me, like to work with me, because I break it down all the way to where a second grader can understand it. If you had more money and you do not have more discipline, a better mindset, better understanding of what to do with your money, more discipline, you're going to be broke again. You're going to be broke again. So you have to prepare for the overflow. You have to have faith. Hello, Miss King. Hey, lady, you know what? I need to talk to you too. I haven't spoken to you in a minute. We need to have virtual coffee. We need to get on Zoom and have virtual coffee until we meet in person. But yes, faith is required between the seed and the harvest. Now, what you also have to recognize is when you are planting the seed, it's small. It's so much smaller than what you're going to receive later on, right? When it's time to harvest. But you cannot despise your small beginnings and say, well, this is all I have. What I have is not big enough. Like it's not as great, it's not as grand as this tree right here. I don't have a tree. All I have is a seed. Ma'am, sir, I don't even know who I'm speaking to. When I woke up this morning, this was not a topic on my mind, but God gave me this today. Your seed is big enough. It is going to be so much smaller than the harvest, but it's big enough. It's good enough. If you've watched me go live before, if you've heard me speak before, if you went to my conference, you know I love speaking about the woman who just had a little jar of oil. We're going to use this today. This little jar of oil, okay? All she had was a little jar of oil. She was like, this is all I have, and the creditors are going to come and get my babies. They're going to come and take my babies because I'm in debt. My husband didn't have enough life insurance to cover us. And so we in debt. And if I don't pay this debt, they're going to take my kids. Now, she didn't say it like that, but that's really what she meant. That's what she said. Okay. Sidebar, if you don't know, I'm a life insurance broker. If you need life insurance, please reach out to me. You can send me a DM or text me at 903-224-6151. All right. Back to the topic at hand. So she said, all I have is this little jar of oil, and she needed to get out of debt, right? Some of y'all are like, in 2026, I'm going to get out of debt. Well, the prophet Elijah said, well, what do you have in your house? Or the prophet asked her, what do you have in your house? I think it was Elijah. He said, what do you have in your house? Well, all I have is this little jar of oil. She owned that that's all that she had, but she didn't think it was enough. All you need is a little bit, just a little bit. That's it, just a little bit. So for those of you who don't know the full story, I'm gonna give you the drive-through version. The prophet said, go get all the containers, all the vases, all the vessels, and bring them to your house. And so she told her sons to help her get as many jars, as many containers as she could to hold the oil, because that's what the prophet told her to do. Now, that was a test of obedience, because some of us would have been like, why are you telling me to get all these jars and stuff? I told you all I got is this little jar of oil. Are you going to give me some more oil? We don't have that much time, man. That's what some of us would have said. But instead, she obeyed. And so they got the containers. A miracle was performed. And the Bible says when she was pouring out the oil, there was so much oil that was poured out. Every vessel was filled, and there was enough oil for her to sell so that she was able to get out of debt, and her children were able to live off this oil. Now, I skipped a lot. Y'all got to go read it. It's in 2 Kings, okay? Chapter 4, verses 1-7. Go read it. I got another video on it. It's on YouTube. Go read it. It's really, really good. But if you have just a little bit and you think the little bit that you have is not enough, I encourage you to sow it. Sow it. Sow it. Sow the seed. Water the seed. And you are going to see a harvest one day. So if you're like, you know what, Terry, I want to retire wealthy, but all I have is $100,000, and I know that is not going to last me because I need $100,000 to live off of every year. That is definitely not going to last me for 10 years. $100,000 is not enough for me to retire wealthy and live off of for 20 years. Well, how about we have a conversation, a complimentary consultation, and I can show you ways that you can sow that seed so that one day you can have a harvest much greater than that. Some of you are saying, you know what, I don't have $100,000 either, Terry. I got a good 1,000. My question to you is, okay, if you got 1,000, if you have a $1,000 seed that you can sow into your financial future. Now, I'm not asking you to sow into me. Not doing it, right? I'm asking you to sow into your future, right? If you can sow $1,000 into your future every month, Can you do that? Can you sow that seed and water that seed and not touch it and not say, oh my goodness, I have X amount of dollars in my account. I'm about to go get this Louis bag and these red bottom shoes and take a photo shoot because I want to look more prosperous. I want to look like the next person. I want to look like the person that got the tree, even though I got a seed. I want to look like the person that got the tree. So I'm going to take the money and I'm going to dig up my seed early before it's time for me to reap the harvest, because I'm trying to look like somebody else instead of doing what I need to do and waiting until it's harvest time. Am I making sense? Are y'all getting this? If this is good, put a "this is good" in the comment section. If this is making sense to you, say yes, I got it. Just say yes, I got it. Even if you're watching the replay, type #replay. I see you teaching good. Thank you, Queen. So I am here just to remind you on today that the day that you plant the seed is not the same day that you reap the harvest. Many times. Now, if you are within certain industries and you have a business, sometimes you can speak to someone, you can close that sale, and then you can get paid that same day. But 9 times out of 10, they did not see you walk up out the street and meet you for the first time. They've been watching you for a minute. They've been on your email list for a minute. They've been watching your lives. They've been listening to your podcast. Shameless plug, the Attract Abundance and Retire Wealthy podcast is live right now. I will put the link in the comment section. If you think this is good, check out the podcast, because there will be a live video posted every Wednesday. Now, I say live. I'm not live on the podcast, but it is a live recording. Okay, it's a live recording every Wednesday. I want y'all to check it out. Last Wednesday, we had Christina Perez. I went live with her, and y'all, that podcast is so good. We talked about, as I mentioned before, being single, but we also talked about having $1 million businesses and starting without any experience. We spoke about how we've had to show up in spaces where they needed some more color, if you know what I mean. All right? Right? My friend Christina says, it's beige. Why is it so beige up in here? This place needs more color. So go check out the podcast. Like, it's really, really good. But again, if somebody says yes to you, if you're a businesswoman, if you're a businessman, if somebody says yes to you, just understand on the same day that you talk to them, you may have been nurturing them previously. Or maybe they came to you as a referral from someone else. Well, you didn't know that as you were watering that seed, that seed that you were watering was bringing another seed your way so that you can reap a harvest from it. So I just want to encourage y'all again today, tonight, even wherever you are in the world, where you're watching the replay, stay consistent. Don't quit. Don't backtrack. Don't get discouraged. Stay consistent. Keep going. I'm going to give you another example. I said this summer, I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be on the beaches. I'm going to be on the yachts. If y'all see me, say hello. Think what you will, but I've worked really, really hard, and I am going to enjoy my life. And so because I am going to enjoy my life, I decided that I want to not go backwards on what I said I want to look like this summer. So instead of ordering French fries today, I decided to eat some cabbage with my chicken tenders. Now, I did eat the chicken tenders, but I said, you know what? I really, really want these fries. I was like, but I'm going to order some cabbage because I'm going to cut the carbs. I'm going to do less carbs. Shout out to Sean. I think about you all the day, every day, queen. Y'all, she is the sugar mode off queen. She's sugar queen. She helps you eliminate sugar. So I think about her often. But I said, you know what? Nope. I know I've been losing a few pounds here and there. I can see the difference. I've been tracking it on my app. But today I will not eat fries because I'm going to continue to stay the course, because I know I'm going to reap a harvest For those of you who started saving, started planning, started doing things in the beginning of the year, and you fell off of your New Year resolutions, or you didn't reach your January goals. You was like, I want to make this amount of money in January and I didn't do it. I wanted to save this amount of money, but this happened with my car. This happened with my child. This happened in my business. And guess what? You can start again today, plant a new seed, water that joker, and prepare yourself to receive the harvest that is in your future. Again, my name is Dr. Terry Alford. I'm known as the Women's Wealth Strategist. I specialize in helping business owners build a wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million-dollar legacies. I help you attract abundance and retire wealthy. And I thank you so much for watching these live videos. Continue to share it with somebody who needs to see it. And send me a DM if you want to talk, all right? Send me a DM if you want to talk. If you know you are ready to book your own consultation, you can go to the link that's going across the bottom of the screen. I will be going out of town next week, but I will be back. So I have a few spots left for this week. Book them up, because next week I'm gonna be out of town. All right, but that's what I love about being in this industry. I have the opportunity to travel the world, travel the United States. It has been a beautiful thing, but I did not get where I am without, what is that? I did not get to where I am without being consistent and consistently planting seeds and watering the harvest. I mean, watering the seeds before it was time for me to reap the harvest. Because truth be told, had I reaped this harvest that I'm receiving now in this year in 2026 too early, I wouldn't be moving the same way I'm going to move in 2026. Sometimes you got to make mistakes before you make the type of money you can really make, because those mistakes will be more expensive later. So thank God for keeping you from making super expensive mistakes and delaying your harvest until your mindset, your money, and your movement is ready. All right. So thank you again. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I'll see y'all again soon. Adios.